Hello everyone, I am the Lore Explorer and this is the Outer Wilds. Today, we're going to look at Dark Bramble and take a crack at explaining how it works. Though Dark Bramble is far from beautiful, its sight surely inspires awe in anyone who sees it. From the outside, it's easy to see this thing is made of wood of sorts, and it's not a normal planet. We can see vines with thorns on it, jutting out in almost every direction. Dark Bramble is a plant, but it's not your average house plant. Stretching 1.6 meters pole to pole, I think this thing would have a hard time fitting in your kitchen. Bramble did not originate in our solar system. It traveled a long way to reach our sun, and found a home at the fifth planet from it, or if we believe Feldspar, it just sort of appeared at its core. Once, most likely the largest planet in the solar system, the fifth planet was brought to its knees by this small, insignificant-looking seed. It must be sturdy to be able to survive entry through the atmosphere of a planet, then the subsequent crash. And then it proceeded to grow into the abomination that is Bramble. So let's try to follow this process from the beginning. Right now, let's act like we are in a Bramble from another solar system. I'm not sure exactly how, but a seed like this one gets ejected from where it germinates, or where it's been growing. Finding an exit, the seed leaves its host. The seed has to be going fast, especially since it may be close to the sun like Timber's hearth is. This seed would probably travel for a few hundred years at least, traveling through the vastness of space, until eventually the tug of our sun would begin to pull this sinister seed in. The largest, fifth planet in our solar system acted as a shield for the planets closer into the sun. The seed would still be traveling at immense speeds, likely enough to zip right on past our sun if it didn't hit anything. But we weren't so lucky. The Bramble seed firmly embedded itself into the surface of the planet. Once it had a grasp on the planet, its thorns started to dig deep. So deep, in fact, it was able to tear the planet apart from the inside out. I'm not sure how long it took, but the planet basically imploded. We find pieces of the planet all throughout the solar system. We can head right to the outer rock to see an example of this. We find a sizable crater just offset from the equator of the outer rock. There are chunks of ice all throughout it, and luckily, some tests have been done on the crater here, and the ice. This is definitely the ice we found surrounding Dark Bramble, and dating the crater, it seems like the crater has been here for a long while. For another example, we can head to Giant's Deep. It reveals a large island comprised of this ice that we find through the outskirts of Dark Bramble. Interestingly, a few jellyfish are frozen in it, suggesting they originated on this fifth planet. But I wouldn't be surprised if all the land masses on Giant's Deep are rock that originated from Bramble and the original fifth planet there. Since Giant's Deep is so big and Bramble slow, it would likely be the planet that sucks up most of the debris caused by this crash and subsequent growing of this planet. But that's enough for explaining this process. How the hell does the seeds and the nodes work? Anyone who visited Bramble is most likely immediately confused when entering, but that's quickly erased as we almost certainly get eaten by an anglerfish, which I'll leave out of the video since, who wants to see that? But now we are safely around a campfire with Feldspar, we can think about this damn maze that's infected by nightmares with fins. So chatting with Feldspar, they say that the seed just appeared at the core of this fifth planet. Though I'm not sure I believe that, it is possible. Anyway, they go on to mention interdimensional travel, as well as their theory that suggests each seed you enter, the space inside grows. So this small seed next to us has an interior that could house an angler or more, and in fact, it even houses us. If we shoot our probe into it, it comes directly back, suggesting that if you enter this thing, you would be, where the probe was, inside of Feldspar's node. So, to explain this, each seed entrance is connected via the fourth dimension, and each seed is a door. The Bramble we see contains every node we encounter within, yet a single node inside Bramble also has other nodes inside of it. Each node that you go into has more space than the last one inside of it. We will call each node a pocket dimension that gets bigger and bigger through each door you go through. An easy way to picture this, if you are a Doctor Who fan, is many TARDIS inside each other, with their doors leading to each other, and maybe even having multiple doors. These doors all lead to a different pocket dimension, again through the fourth dimension. This was confirmed by a developer by a YouTuber named 8-Bit Bulldog. He does some content on the Outer Wilds. You may want to check him out if you're interested. I actually helped with a video that he created. Maybe I'll link it at the end of this video. Looking at this map, we can see that this way, with the fourth dimensional doors, the nodes can lead to each other, even if they aren't adjacent, and even makes it possible for a node that only leads to itself, as the tunnels can bend and lead anywhere. This is just a crude rudimentary map to let you visualize what I'm talking about. It also makes sense of the duplicate signals we see when we shoot our probe into a node. We can follow the signal in front of us, but we could also go through another node to reach the same space as it contains the node that our probe is in. Now it does get confusing how the nodes are kind of inside each other, but I don't think it's really that important. Another interesting factor is to exit Bramble, we simply have to turn around and go through the entrance we came through. Why does this happen? Well, Bramble is a plant, after all. It has to have a way to pollinate or seed itself. This is how Bramble shoots out the seed we see on Timber Hearth. And we see evidence this isn't the first seed Bramble shot into our solar system. If we head to Ember Twin's Sunless City, we can find an interesting sight. An overlook has been constructed for the Nomai to get a good view of the fossil of an anglerfish. The only way I can think for the anglerfish to have gotten here is coming through a seed. But wouldn't it have to have been big enough for an anglerfish to fit through? We find no evidence of such seed on Ember Twin, or any of the effects it may have had. Though underground and so close to the sun may have caused this seed to wither and die. It may have even drifted down here with sand from above the surface, or perhaps the seed tried to appear near the core like Feldspar said. But this leads me to the question, how does a plant like this survive anyway, if the one on Timber Hearth died? Well, we have little evidence for this, but what if all the bramble plants throughout the universe are all connected? This way, all the resources the seed intakes is shared with other seeds throughout the universe. This could explain how the seed survived its trip through space to reach the fifth planet if it didn't just disappear like Feldspar says. Its mother plant could have been providing for it until it reached its destination, where it can begin to expand its network by taking over a planet. There actually is some evidence for this, but it only makes it possible in my opinion. If we make our way to the node Feldspar has set up camp in, we can check out their ship. The ship has made its way clear through a vine when Feldspar crashed it trying to escape from an angler. We can get a view of the inner workings of Bramble this way. Even inside these vines have dimensional doorways in them. The seeds from Timber and Feldspar's node also both lead to the same node, which would happen to be Feldspar's node. So it would make sense there is some connection to other plants that we simply don't have access to. Another bit of evidence may just be dismissed since it's perceived as an Easter egg, but the only words I've seen the main developer speak about it were along the lines of, if you look at the Easter egg as lore, meaning he doesn't straight out dismiss it. This seed here deep in Dark Bramble holds a secret, a terrible scene with a few dead humans, and just beyond the humans lay an orb with bramble vines surrounding it. If we look at this as lore, it's almost solid proof these seeds are all connected, if not just to each other, most likely to this mysterious orb here in a location we don't know. But unfortunately, one of these seeds has made its new home on Timber Hearth. But I don't think this leaves no hope for the planet and the four-eyed species that inhabits it. If the fossil on Ember Twin tells us anything, it's these seeds can die. If we severed the seed from its vine, it would likely lose its connection to the others. Once it's lost its connection, it may just wither away and die. If that doesn't work, we can light the SOB on fire. In fact, let's do both, just to be sure. Just to be safe, we should probably go get Feldspar first. Who knows that since this seed leads to Feldspar's seed, if they would be harmed if we burned it. Anyway, I hope this video was able to give you an understanding of how Bramble may work. Really, I think it's just an awesome idea, an interstellar plant alone, you know? For this reason, I can't find myself or make myself hate Dark Bramble. It's just such an awesome idea. But for now, this is the Lore Explorer trying to explain the hell that is Dark Bramble.